think homesickness is absolutely natural, but I think everybody has it at different levels and different degrees. There are ways to combat homesickness or to kind of cope with it, and so here are my tips, and I hope they help you. In no particular order. Number one is, I think actually, if I had to say one of the most important things to realize, it would probably be this. When you're studying abroad, you're only going to be away from home for a semester or a year, depending, and then you'll be back home. You're going to be away for a finite amount of time. Okay? It's going to be temporary, and you're going to be back to everything that you love, everything that's familiar, and everything that makes home home. So enjoy every single second that you're abroad and embrace it all, and find the little things that you like about your new country, your new school, and your friends, and realize that for those couple of months or that year, that semester, whatever, it's your home, and make it your home and enjoy it. I know personally I feel so happy that, I got to call Sydney home for, a semester. It was my home, and it really was. I made it my home. I made some wonderful friendships. I found that little cafe that I like to go to, and the little unique spots of the town, my area that I lived in, the little things that I loved about Sydney, the little things that, no, there's nothing that I didn't like. Everything that I loved about Sydney, and everything that I loved about the people, the culture, the accent. I just love it. I love accents. What I loved about, the format of the university, of the schooling, which is so different from what I'm used to. So you find things that you like, and find those, and if you're really worried about homesickness, just think, well, I'm going somewhere awesome, and I'm going to have an awesome time, and I will be back home soon enough, and trust me, time flies, and that is number 2, is time flies, so enjoy it all. That's actually the same as the first part, but shorter side. I'm rambling now. Okay, let's get to number 2 or 3. We live in the age of technology. Use it to your advantage, okay? So we can constantly stay in contact with those we love back home, but I hope you're not clung on to that phone when you're abroad, instead of hanging out and exploring with new people because you want to chat with your old friends. I think that's important to stay in contact with everyone back home, but also kind of go out there and meet new people, and that's going to help you feel at home, and it's going to help you in your experience. If you're worried about, how am I going to talk with everyone back home, that's not an obstacle to worry about. There's Facebook, Twitter, Skype. You can see one another via video chatting. How awesome is that? Even though, keep in mind about the internet connection. But yeah, you can see one another. You can have a cup of tea, if you guys want virtual tea date or whatever. You can chat, and maybe you can't reach through that screen and give them a hug, that much wanted hug that you want to give them. But just think that when you get home, it'll make that hug that reuniting hug all the much more meaningful and all the much better. Invest in a cell phone if you can. I did, personally. That was one of the first things that I purchased. I purchased a small, cheap little cell phone, nothing luxurious, and got a little a SIM card that allowed me to make international phone calls, and it was a prepaid, and it was through the company Labara, and it allowed me to also text internationally, which was pretty cool as well. So keep that in mind, but also when you are texting internationally or calling internationally, tell whoever you're calling to check with their carriers to make sure they won't be overcharged by texting internationally. So, but if anything, it's not like you're going to be doing it like 24/7. I'm sure it won't be that expensive. But yeah, so there's ways to stay in contact, and don't worry. Oh, and I think one of the coolest things that you could do when many cool things that you can do is that you can send a postcard. Who doesn't love getting a postcard in the mail? It makes you feel so special. So, you know, do it the old way, write a letter to a friend, and trust me, it'll be such a nice surprise, you know, to get a letter from a friend that's overseas or that's abroad, and it'll mean a lot knowing that you took the time to write something nice and maybe, you know, attach a photo or something. I don't know. So number 4, I think we're on number 4, or it could be 3. I just will stop saying the numbers. Take pieces of home, you know, to your new home. Take things from your room or from your house that will help make your room, wherever you're staying, feel more like home. For example, wait, but don't take so many things, because trust me, you will not have space in your luggage when you're coming back, because you're probably going to have souvenirs and things that you've just accumulated over time, and you won't have space to take that huge macaroni statue that you made in like 5th grade. I don't know why you would take that, but you just think those are the type of things that you could probably live without. Or I don't know, maybe you can't. I don't know. It really depends, right? Okay, so one of the things that I did take was photos, and I think that's a great thing to bring along with. They're fairly thin, and you can bring a few of them and put them on your walls, or if you'd like, make a picture frame or invest in a picture frame and put them on your desk. You could bring little trinkets that you like, not too many, once again, but just little special, meaningful things. Like I brought my nephew, he gave me a Pikachu doll, and he told me to take it along to remember him, and I almost certainly did. It was sitting there for the entire semester on my desk, and I would see it every day, along with a drawing he made for me. Like I said, I had pictures of family. I brought a I brought a nice blanket. It reminded me of home. I wish I would have brought my favorite book. That was one thing that I should have done. I didn't think that I would need it, but I should have brought it. Just bring little meaningful things from home, and it'll just be nice to see them. Okay, another thing is homesickness. This is kind of going along with what I originally said in number 1, which is to realize that you're only going to be abroad for a certain amount of time. You won't be there forever, so not to worry, and to be like, yeah, in a couple of months I'll be back home, so let me enjoy this experience, everything that I'm living the most that I possibly can. It would be, man, that was just a really weird long sentence. My point was to keep an open mind. Well, chances are this is probably going to be easy for you if you're considering, you know, studying abroad. You probably already have an open mind. But I know I met a few people who, it was really unfortunate, but they looked at everything with a critical eye. That's not a bad thing, but they were always comparing. Oh, this is not how it's like back home. This is so different. Yes, it's different, but different isn't bad. Especially when you're abroad. Obviously, you're in a different country, so things are going to be different. And there's nothing wrong with that. And once again, there's nothing wrong with comparing. But I think when you're looking at it in such a negative way and you start seeing things as if they're wrong and bad, then it can be a bad thing. I think it's okay to acknowledge, like, oh, you drive on the left side of the road, we drive in the right side back home. That's pretty, you know, that's alright, because it's kind of cool if you're not used to it. And it can be kind of dangerous. So make sure you look, you know, the correct way when you're crossing the street. Very important. But yeah, just be open. You know, differences are great, and acknowledge them. And you know, who knows? You might realize that you like the differences, and that those differences are what make the country so, you know, unique, and makes the experience so unique and wonderful. Before I left, before I studied abroad, I think one of the only challenges that I thought I would face would be homesickness. You know, once I got there, I didn't really feel that homesick. I mean, I missed home, I missed my family, my friends, and my mom's cooking. I missed my mom's cooking so much. But I was so happy to be somewhere new, to be exploring, making new friends, and just having a wonderful experience, you know. And slowly I realized that that was something that I, you know, didn't really have to worry about. It was just the thought of having homesickness that really was kind of scary to me. I don't know if scary is the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you feel nervous about homesickness, just realize it won't be that terrible where you're like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna live without my friends and my family? And it's just a feeling.